My sister-in-law tried to my husband, so I let my camera do the talking. I should have trusted my gut when Melissa started showing up at our house unannounced. My younger sister, fresh out of her third failed relationship, suddenly needed her big sister more than ever. Except she didn't need me. She needed what I had. She needed Ryan. The first time I noticed something was off, she was helping him fix the deck while I was inside making lunch. Through the kitchen window, I watched her laugh at something he said, touching his arm, letting her hand linger. Normal sister-in-law stuff, right? That's what I told myself. But then she started dressing differently when she knew he'd be home. Gone were the baggy sweats and messy buns. Now it was yoga pants that looked painted on, crop tops in 40-degree weather, and makeup that took an hour minimum. "You're being paranoid," Ryan said when I mentioned it. "She's your sister. She's going through a rough time." He was folding laundry, not even looking at me, and something about his casual dismissal made my stomach twist. Not because I thought he was interested. Ryan was the most loyal person I knew. We'd been together 12 years, married for 8, with 2 kids who thought their dad hung the moon. But Melissa? Melissa took whatever she wanted. She'd done it before. In high school, she dated my crush right after I told her I liked him. In college, she applied to my dream internship and got it, even though she had zero interest in marketing. At my wedding, she gave a speech about how she always knew Ryan was special from the moment she met him. My mom said I was being sensitive. That Melissa just admired me. But admiration doesn't look at your husband the way she looked at mine. The breaking point came during Thanksgiving prep. I'd run to the store for forgotten cranberry sauce, leaving them alone for maybe 30 minutes. When I came back, the house was too quiet. I found them in the basement. She was showing him her new tattoo. On her hip. Her pants pulled down just enough, his hand hovering near her skin like he wanted to touch but knew he shouldn't. "It's still healing," she was saying. "Does it look infected to you?" Ryan jumped back when he saw me. "Hey." Melissa was just worried about her tattoo. "I can see that," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "Melissa, maybe you should ask an actual medical professional. Or literally anyone else." She pulled her pants up slowly, deliberately, making eye contact with me the whole time. "Sorry, sis. Didn't mean to weird you out. Ryan just has such good eyes for detail." That night, I ordered cameras. Not the obvious ones. The tiny ones that look like phone chargers, picture frames, smoke detectors. I told myself I was crazy even as I placed them around the house. I wasn't going to spy on my husband. I trusted Ryan completely. But Melissa? I needed to know what she was doing when I wasn't around. The first few days of footage were nothing. Melissa on her phone. Ryan working from his office. Normal life. I started to feel guilty even. Then I worked a late shift at the hospital. I'm a nurse, and December means overtime. I didn't check the footage until the next morning, after Ryan had already left for work. There she was, coming downstairs at 11 p.m. in lingerie. Actual lingerie. Not pajamas that could be mistaken for something else. Black lace that left nothing to imagination. Ryan was on the couch watching the game. The camera caught his double take, the way his whole body tensed. "Melissa, what the?" "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She played it perfectly. Hand to her chest, eyes wide. "I thought you'd gone to bed." "I was just getting water." "You need to go put clothes on." "Don't be such a, Ryan. We're family." She sat down next to him. Not across the room. Not on the other couch. Right next to him, her bare thigh touching his jean-clad leg. The camera caught everything. His discomfort. His attempt to shift away. Her hand on his knee. "Melissa, stop." "Stop what?" "We're just talking." "No, we're not. You need to go upstairs." "What if I don't want to?" The footage showed Ryan standing up, walking to the kitchen. She followed. The kitchen camera caught her pressing herself against him as he tried to get water from the fridge. "Your sister deserves better than you," she said. "She's never home. She doesn't appreciate you." "You are." "I'm not. And you know I'm right. When's the last time she even touched you?" Ryan's voice was firm. "I'm going to bed. You need to leave tomorrow." "Or what? You'll tell her?" "She won't believe you. She never does when it comes to me." She was right about that. Our whole lives, Melissa had been the baby who could do no wrong. Even now, at 28, she was still mommy and daddy's little angel. If I said anything without proof, I'd be the jealous older sister who couldn't stand to share. But I had proof now. The next morning, I pretended everything was normal. Made breakfast. Kissed Ryan goodbye. Melissa came down around 10, looking smugger than usual. Sleep well? I asked. Like a baby. Your couch is super comfortable. I bet it is. She studied me, trying to read my expression. I gave her nothing. I was thinking, she said, maybe I should stay through Christmas. Since Tom and I broke up, I don't really have anywhere else to go. Tom was the latest in a string of men who'd figured out what Melissa was really like. A user. A taker. A person who saw other people's happiness as a personal challenge. That's fine, I said, surprising her. Family should stick together. What she didn't know was that I'd already called my parents. Told them I had a special Christmas surprise that required everyone to be at my house on December 23rd. My mom was thrilled. It's been so long since we've all been together. Yeah, it had been. Because I'd learned to keep Melissa at arm's length. But now I had something to show them. All of them. The next 2 weeks were. Every day, Melissa escalated. She'd walk out of the bathroom in just a towel when she knew Ryan was in the hallway. She'd accidentally brush against him in the kitchen. She started doing yoga in the living room during his lunch breaks, bending and stretching in ways that had nothing to do with fitness and everything to do with display. Ryan started working from coffee shops. Coming home later. He looked exhausted, stressed. The kids noticed too. Why doesn't Daddy eat dinner with us anymore? Our 6-year-old Emma asked. He's just busy with work, sweetie. Aunt Melissa says it's because you two are having problems. I nearly choked on my water. She said what? She said sometimes mommies and daddies grow apart. But that she'd always be here for us. I found Melissa in the guest room, packing. Or pretending to pack. She'd been fake packing for a week, always finding reasons to stay. We need to talk about boundaries with the kids. She looked up, all innocent eyes. What do you mean? Emma just told me you've been discussing my marriage with her. Oh, that. She asked why Ryan seemed sad. I didn't want to lie to her. He seems sad because you're making him uncomfortable in his own home. There it was. Finally out in the open. Melissa's face shifted, the mask dropping for just a second. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sure you don't. You know what your problem is? She stood, crossing her arms. You're by me. You always have been. Just because men notice me, just because I'm younger and fun and don't have baby weight and stretch marks. You're right, I said, surprising her again. I do have stretch marks. From carrying 2 beautiful kids. And baby weight that's been impossible to lose while working 12-hour shifts. But you know what else I have? A husband who loves me. A family. A life. Things you'll never have because you're too busy trying to steal other people's instead of building your own. She laughed. You think Ryan loves you? He can barely look at you. When's the last time you two had? That stung because it had been a while. Between my shifts and his work and the kids, we were ships passing in the night. But that didn't mean what she thought it meant. Get out of my house. Make me. Go ahead, tell everyone I'm trying to steal your husband. See who they believe. I don't have to tell anyone anything. You can stay until the 23rd. Then we'll settle this. She smirked. What's the 23rd? Family dinner. The next few days were tense but quiet. Melissa backed off, probably thinking she'd won something. Ryan started coming home for dinner again. He still wouldn't tell me what was really going on, just kept saying Melissa would be gone soon and we could move past it. But I could see it eating at him. The guilt of keeping secrets, even though he'd done nothing wrong. December 23rd arrived with fresh snow and my entire extended family. My parents, Ryan's parents, my brother Jake and his wife, various aunts and uncles. Melissa played hostess like she owned the place, wearing a dress that would have been appropriate for a cocktail party, not a family dinner. You all have to see the renovations Ryan did, she gushed, leading tours through our house. He's so talented with his hands. My mother pulled me aside. Melissa seems to be doing better. It's nice she has you and Ryan for support. Yeah. So supportive. Dinner was perfect. I cooked for 2 days. Turkey, ham, all the sides. Melissa sat next to Ryan because of course she did. Throughout dinner, she kept touching his arm, laughing too loud at his jokes, finding excuses to lean across him. My mother noticed, finally. I saw her eyebrows raise when Melissa wiped imaginary gravy off Ryan's cheek. So, my dad said, raising his wine glass. This is nice. What's the special occasion? Actually, I said, standing. I wanted to share something with all of you. We've been having some challenges lately. Some boundary issues that I think we need to address as a family. Melissa's face went pale. Ryan looked confused. You all know Melissa's been staying with us since her breakup. And we've been happy to help. Family helps family. But sometimes, help becomes something else. Sometimes, people mistake kindness for weakness. What are you talking about? My mother asked. I'm talking about respect, trust, boundaries, things that have been in my home. And rather than make accusations, I thought I'd just show you. I pulled out my laptop, already connected to the TV. The first video started playing. Melissa in lingerie. The audio was crystal clear. Your sister deserves better than you. The room went silent. My mother gasped. Melissa jumped up. That's edited. She's lying. There's more, I said, clicking to the next video. Then the next. 2 weeks of footage condensed into a greatest hits compilation. The towel incidents. The yoga displays. Her cornering Ryan in the laundry room, pressing herself against him while he tried to leave. Her crying fake tears, saying she was so lonely, couldn't he just hold her? Ryan's mom stood up. Melissa, what is wrong with you? It's not what it looks like. Ryan came on to me. That's clearly not what's happening in these videos, Jake said, his voice disgusted. Jesus, Mel. He's your brother-in-law. My father's face was purple. Melissa Ann, we're leaving. Now. Daddy, please. Now. The exodus was swift. Relatives who'd driven hours for dinner were putting on coats, unable to look at anyone. My mother was crying. She hugged me quickly, whispered I'm so sorry, and followed my father out. Melissa was sobbing, but they weren't real tears. I knew the difference. You ruined everything. She screamed at me. You couldn't just let me have this one thing. One thing? You mean my husband? You don't deserve him. You're never here. You don't appreciate him. You're right. I work too much. We've let things slide. But that's between Ryan and me. That's our marriage to fix. Not yours to steal. She grabbed her bags, stomping to the door. You'll regret this. When he leaves you for someone who actually cares about him, you'll remember this moment. Maybe. But it won't be you. She slammed the door. The house felt lighter immediately. Ryan and I stood in our destroyed dining room, Christmas dinner half eaten, cameras still recording. I'm sorry, he said. I should have told you. I just didn't know how. I know. How long have you known? 2 weeks. The cameras? Yeah. He laughed, but it was hollow. You could have just asked me. Would you have told me the truth? Or would you have tried to protect me from my own sister? He didn't answer because we both knew. He would have carried it, suffered through it, to spare me the pain of knowing what Melissa really was. But some pain needs to be felt. Some truths need to be seen. The family fracture was immediate and complete. My parents didn't speak to me for 3 months. When my mom finally called, her first words were, "Did you have to her in front of everyone?" She was trying to sleep with my husband, Mom. You could have handled it privately. I tried that for 28 years. You never believed me. You needed to see it. She hung up. It would be another 2 months before we spoke again. By then, Melissa had moved to Portland, told everyone I'd fabricated the videos with AI, that Ryan and I had conspired against her because we were jealous of her youth and freedom. Some relatives believed her. The family split down the middle, Team Melissa versus Team me, like we were some reality show instead of a destroyed family. Ryan and I started counseling. Not because he'd done anything wrong, but because the stress had revealed cracks we'd been ignoring. We'd been coasting, taking each other for granted, letting life happen to us instead of actively choosing each other. The therapist said Melissa had actually done us a favor, in the worst possible way. Sometimes it takes a threat to make us value what we have, she said. But the threat had left damage. Ryan couldn't relax in our home anymore. He kept waiting for Melissa to appear, even though I'd changed the locks and installed a security system. He had nightmares about her accusations, about losing everything because of a lie no one would believe without video proof. What if you hadn't had the cameras? He asked one night. What if she told people I assaulted her? But she didn't. And I did have cameras. But what if? The what ifs were us slowly. Trust, once broken, leaves scars even when you're not the one who broke it. Emma started having issues at school. Kids had heard their parents talking. My mom says your aunt is a homewrecker, one boy told her. She didn't know what it meant, but she knew it was bad. She stopped inviting friends over. Stopped talking about family. When she drew pictures at school, Aunt Melissa was notably absent, scratched out with black crayon when teachers asked about her family. Our 4-year-old, Ethan, just kept asking when Aunt Misa would come back to play. He didn't understand why she disappeared, why Grandma and Grandpa didn't visit anymore, why Daddy seemed sad all the time. Jake, my brother, was the only family member who stayed firmly in our corner. His wife Sarah had apparently suspected something for years. She made a pass at Jake at our wedding, Sarah told me over coffee. During our first dance, she told him he could do better. Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me? Your parents wouldn't have. And Jake handled it. But we've kept her at arm's length ever since. The extended family picked sides based on their own histories with Melissa. Those who'd been burned by her believed me immediately. Those who'd only seen her charm, her fun side, thought I was a jealous sister who'd overreacted to harmless flirting. The Christmas dinner story spread through our small town like wildfire, morphing with each telling until some versions had me Melissa physically, others had Ryan and Melissa having a full affair that I'd exposed. I ran into Melissa's ex, Tom, at the grocery store in February. He looked exhausted. I heard what happened, he said. I'm sorry you're going through this. Did she ever try something similar? Yeah. With my brother. That's why we broke up. She said she was testing him, seeing if he was loyal to me. Like it was some twisted game. Why didn't you warn me? He laughed bitterly. Would you have listened? Besides, I thought maybe it was just us. That maybe with family, real family, she'd be different. But that was the thing about Melissa. Family meant access. It meant trust you hadn't earned. It meant people would make excuses for you because DNA demanded it. My mother finally came around on Mother's Day. She showed up at my door with flowers and tears. I found her diary, she said. From high school. You were right. About all of it. The boyfriend stealing, the internship, all of it. She wrote about it like she was proud. And it only took destroying our family for you to believe me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We always thought. She was the baby. She needed more attention, more protection. We didn't see what it was doing to you. What it was creating in her. She's 28, Mom. At what point does the baby excuse expire? We rebuilt slowly. Sunday dinners resumed, but they felt hollow. Empty chairs where Melissa and my father should be. He still wouldn't admit she'd done anything wrong, just kept saying it was a misunderstanding, that I'd overreacted. He died 2 years later, never having spoken to me again. At his funeral, Melissa stood on the other side of the grave, dressed like a widow, sobbing dramatically. She told everyone I'd kept her from seeing him in his final days. Another lie, but what was one more? Ryan and I survived, but we were different. Harder? More protective. We'd learned that threats don't always come from outside. Sometimes they smile at your kids and call you sister. We moved 2 towns over, started fresh. The kids adjusted, mostly. Emma still has trust issues, still questions people's motives. Ethan forgot about Aunt Melissa entirely, which was its own kind of sad. The cameras stayed up. Ryan never asked me to take them down. We both pretended they weren't there, but we knew. We'd learned that proof was the only thing standing between truth and devastating lies. Some would call that paranoid. We called it practical. Sarah and Jake had a baby last year. At the hospital, Sarah pulled me aside. We're not telling Melissa. About the baby, the name, anything. She doesn't get to be Aunt Melissa to our child. She's going to find out eventually. Maybe. But not from us. We're done pretending family means accepting. The last I heard, Melissa was engaged to some tech guy in Portland. Mutual friends said she'd reinvented herself completely. New name, she goes by Lissa now, new history, our family doesn't exist in her version, new personality, devoted, stable, trustworthy. I wanted to warn him, but I'd learned my lesson about getting involved in Melissa's life. She'd already taken enough from me. Sometimes I check her Instagram from a fake account. She posts about authentic living, about cutting people from your life, about the importance of boundaries. The irony would be funny if it hadn't cost so much. She's built an entire online persona around being a victim of a jealous sister who couldn't stand to see her happy. Her followers eat it up, comment about how strong she is, how brave. Ryan found me looking once. He closed the laptop gently. She's not our problem anymore, he said. But that was the thing about Melissa. She was like radiation. Even after the source was gone, the contamination lingered. In every family gathering she wasn't at. In every careful conversation with my mother where we didn't mention her name. In every time Emma asked why some families stay together and others don't. Would you do it again? Ryan asked me last week. We were watching the kids play in the yard, a normal Sunday that had taken years to feel normal again. The cameras, the dinner, all of it? Yes, I said without hesitation. But I would have done it sooner. Even knowing the cost? especially knowing the cost. Because the alternative was worse. He nodded, understanding. The alternative was Melissa winning. The alternative was our marriage imploding from her. The alternative was teaching our children that family meant accepting betrayal with a smile. We'd survived, but we were a cautionary tale now. The family that had imploded at Christmas dinner. The sister who'd chosen her husband over. The marriage that had needed surveillance cameras to survive. We were gossip and whispers and a story people told when they wanted to feel better about their own dysfunctional families. But we were also still here. Still together. Still standing in the wreckage of what Melissa had tried to destroy, building something new from the ashes. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't whole. But it was ours, and we defended it, and that had to count for something. The security system alert chimed. Just the mail carrier. But Ryan and I both looked, both checked, both waited to exhale until we saw who it was. That was our normal now. Vigilance where trust used to live. Cameras where comfort should be. Proof is our only protection against people who claim to love us while sharpening their knives. My therapist says I have trust issues now. No kidding. I have a sister-shaped hole in my ability to believe people, a permanent wound that aches every holiday, every family photo, every time Emma asks why we don't see Aunt Melissa anymore. The truth would break her heart. The lie breaks mine. That's the real cost of betrayal from within. Not just what you lose, but what you can never get back. The ability to love without looking for the exits, to trust without needing proof, to believe that family means safety instead of just another word for danger with a key to your front door.